Hi everyone, today you join us at Widmouth Bay with a Big Wave camper. Stay tuned.
Right, so today we are looking at this Big Wave camper, and there's a really good reason for that. Not just the fact that we're down in here in Cornwall on holiday, because we are, but we can't get away from campervans. We absolutely love them, and Big Wave Campers got a really special place in our heart because it's the first place here near Bude where we came to have a look at campervans when we first thought about having one. So that must have been, we were just talking about it probably 5 years ago, and we really loved what we saw here. So today we've had the opportunity to grab one of their vans, come down here to Widmouth Bay, and we're having a quick look around it. So we're going to give you a tour, and there's some really good reasons why you should have a look at Big Wave campers if you're new to campervans or you're thinking about getting one but you don't want to buy something absolutely brand new from Volkswagen or Mercedes or Westphalia or whoever. If you want something different and you want something, more importantly, affordable, well, say affordable, nothing's really affordable anymore, but if you want something affordable, then these guys might be what you're looking for. So we're going to do a bit of a tour, and we are going to put the roof up and we're going to put it down on camera because we know we've had lots of people in the past say, why didn't you put the roof up and put it down? We're going to do all that, going to put the bed out, going to turn the seat round, all that stuff. Let's take a look. Right, so the first thing, if we're going to start at the front, work our way back, we've got a double front seat in this, which is interesting in as much as it's different to the usual kind of things we've seen. So the twin swivel seats that you get from the factory, captain's chairs things. So this van is a second-hand van, which they put a brand new conversion in, and that's one of their specialities, which makes it more affordable. So this van that we're looking at here, is it an 18 plate?
Yes.
Yeah, 18 plate. This has done 94,000 miles, this van. But before you scoff, everything in the back, so the whole conversion, all the reupholstering, all of that stuff, all brand new. So if you're wanting something more affordable and you're happy to have a van which is used, but effectively with a brand new conversion in, this could be for you. So double front seat, and what that means is you get this massive storage area. So these are absolutely enormous. You know, that's easily enough space to, I don't know why I'm thinking about it, put a couple of motorcycle helmets in, or I don't know.
Big bag of dog food.
Lunch.
Cycle helmets, probably more than motorbike helmets. Yeah, it's a bit more
point.
Likely that you'd...
But what it also means is that when you turn this round, or you're going to want to turn it round, so you've got your normal kind of camper style in the back, it's a bit more involved, but not that much more. So there's 4 screws which go in, which are underneath the bottom here. You can see them from the back. What you do is you turn them round, and then it means that you can move the bench on some sliders. So what I'll do is I'll undo them all, and then I'll show you it swiveling around. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
Right, so all of those 4 are undone now. And then what you have to do is you have to just let the handbrake off. So, pop it in gear. Windy today.
It's windy at Widmouth.
Pop the handbrake off. And then, this will see whether I was listening properly, won't it?
Listening and watching. Whee! Whee! Hey, he's done it.
So you can do that. And then what you can do is you can pop those back in.
That looked like a bit of a pro job there, Will.
Hey.
Hey.
You can do that just to secure it nicely. Locks it in place nice and tight. And then you've had your seat swiveled round. So these don't come with the driver's seat swivel, but they can do it also with a passenger seat single captain's chair if you'd prefer that instead of the double. I'll tell you what, having seen and swiveled that around, I think I'd probably have the double. It's with extra storage as well.
It's quite nice,
and the fact that
it?
you can obviously have 3 people up front because it's all got belts and everything else. 2 people in the back, so you've got 5 people you could carry in this van if you needed to.
Technically, yeah.
That's quite nifty. this upholstery and everything they do as well, when you get a conversion from them, if it's not one that they've already just made, obviously you get what you get then. If you're buying it and they're going to do it to your spec, you can choose the colour of the floor, you can choose the different types of cupboard, you can choose different types of fabric. So whether you have all leather, you can choose different types of stitching, diamond stitching, all that sort of stuff. You can have half leather and half cloth like this. They do different types of GTI style fabric like this. So if you want the red stripe instead of the blue, or the grey stripe instead of the blue, or all that kind of stuff, do all of that stuff. Yeah, and different coloured interior linings, and it's really customizable what they can do. But the basic layout is the same on all of them, and that's how they can keep their costs down. So it's more about the colour scheme rather than the layout inside that changes. So I think we need to get that roof up, don't we?
We do.
So at least I can stand it up.
Yeah.
Put it then.
Let's go.
Let's put that up. The roof on these is a manual roof, which means it's got gas struts, and you push it and you have to pull it down to bring it down. It's held in place with these straps at the front here, which I'll just undo. The kind of area here where you've got the canvas and the bottom of the bed and all that kind of stuff, that's not covered like it is in a California or anything like that. It's just kind of open. So when it's down, you have to just tuck your canvas away and things. So again, making sure that it's cost conscious more than anything, but nothing wrong with that. You just have to obviously.
Well, and some people might argue that the
remember.
one in the Cali is a bit of a faff trying to be able
The
to.
fact that it rattles all the time and then opens itself.
I like the idea of the hatch thing. It's really
Right.
good, but
So
sometimes it does open it.
Two straps undone, and then
Push.
you push, and as if by magic,
Ta-da!
there we are. And then inside, you've got the bed base at the top here. So carpeted bed base. Nothing fancy in this in terms of Frolly springs or anything like that. It's just basically a hardboard base that you'd put a normal mattress on or something like that. As in an inflatable.
Yeah, of your
so you've got
choice,
space up there.
basically, isn't it?
But again, gas struts, up it goes out the way. A couple of opening windows on the side, one on the front. So yeah, just kind of what you'd expect really. Really like black, like proper blackout fabric in here.
Really dark canvas,
Yeah.
isn't it? Okay, so you joined me inside for a little bit of a tour. It's actually quite a nice place to be, this. So you can see you've got your nice sort of big kitchen work surface here with your typical 2-burner hob under there. And you've got a sink over on this side here. There we go, with a proper tap in there.
Just
it's quite
cold,
a nice
cold
deep,
water, isn't it? On
It's
this one?
just
Yeah.
cold water, but it's quite a nice deep sink. You've got these cupboards over the top here, which is this nice push in, push out mechanism here. So quite a nice big space in there. They've got a softish close on them there, so they don't just wha-bang shut. All of these are exactly the same across the top here. So, and your third one there. So you don't lose any space in those at all, they're full length back. Got a couple of power sockets down here,
They're for hookup, aren't
which
they?
are for when you're on hookup, and the same as for your microwave. That is also when you're on hookup. But your fridge does run off your leisure battery, or I think it converts over to your hookup when you're on
it
hookup
does.
anyway, doesn't it, as normal? So you've got your nice little fridge down here, there. So you've got some storage in the door, and all those bits and bobs normally there. Little cupboard over the top here, very little cupboard, kind of a baby wipes box I can think of in there, something like that, for keeping cloths and bits and pieces in. In your bigger one down here is where you've got your fresh water store. So that's your bottle there. And literally you take that out and you fill it up and you pop it back in there. So they haven't taken a hole out the side of the van for you to be able to put your water in or anything like that. It is a bottle for you to just go and fill up.
Keeping it simple, aren't
Quite
they, really?
handy if you end up on a campsite where you're a long way away from the water, because you can just walk down there with it rather than having to move your van. You've got these little cupboards over on the side here, so with the sort of tambour door idea, and that's a really nice big deep cupboard there. And this little kind of box thing here, which you can use to store something in. It's not very deep, but it's actually quite handy for something that we'll show you in a minute. And then at the back here, it's where you get your big tambour unit here, and you've got bits and pieces like your access to your electrics here, and that's your wardrobe.
Big storage.
So
in
it's
there.
quite a nice big store that you actually get back here too, which is great. This bit here is your downstairs bed where I've been sitting. So to put this out, it's quite easy. So you've got this big storage bit under here that literally just goes through to the entire back of the van. So loads of space under there. And this panel, you'll see, just sort of pulls forward with the whole of this, and it comes out to a bed. So in a kind of a Z.
So this is a normal, kind of what they'd usually call a rock and roll style bed, isn't it? But
exactly.
They make this bed themselves, I think, and it's all crash tested.
Crash tested.
Same as the roof, that's crash tested as well.
Yep. So we undo these, and these bolts come out, and that's what that little store place next to the kitchen is actually really, really handy for. Okay, so let's see if I was listening. So apparently you pull these out. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then pull the whole thing forward.
And then pull the whole thing forward with these.
No, with the base.
With the base. So.
No, stick your hand in it.
Just in here. There we go. I wasn't watching that bit clearly. There we go. Tuck your seatbelts into the hole, and then it's there basically ready for you to put whatever topper, mattress or anything on it if you want to.
So there's still a good amount of space at the front there, isn't it, where you're standing? You could easily put a porta potty in there if you needed to in the middle of the night or anything else, or sit on that
or the dog sleeping
seat, or the dog sleeping, and then you've got some space underneath if you needed to for just sticking anything temporarily.
Yep, because remember, when the bed goes back, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's further back there.
So then
it's a very similar size width bed there to what you get in a Cali, if you're comparing it to something like that.
It is. It is.
It might be very slightly shorter, but I should probably lie down and show you really, shouldn't I? Let me get some bits out of my pocket here. I'll keep my feet from going onto it, seeing as they're quite sandy. So I'll leave those there. Whoop. And there you go. And I'm 5'1" and a bit.
Let's wander around the back. We'll have a look.
Hello.
There she is.
So you can see how much more room there is up at the top here.
Yeah,
so I'd think if you're 6 foot, you're probably fine.
You could push your pillows against the barn doors at the back as well, couldn't you? So the way that we put this bed away is we have to put our hand down the side of it where that hinges. So where those headrests are there, built in, you put your hand down the side here, lift it up, bingo!
That's
and then
a bit simple, isn't
all
it?
you do is you just screw those knobs back in there.
Yeah.
And then that secures it in place. Because if you brake hard, then like, everything's
crikey.
a little bit roller coaster in the back.
Your kiddies might be a little bit loose.
So yeah, I'm just going to secure that back in. And then what are we going to do next? Boot. One thing we should mention just before we nip round the back, we always do this, don't we? Never plan these things. This little control panel on the side here, I know it looks quite simple, but actually it's all you need in this van. So you've got a button here for your leisure battery. It gives you the charge of your leisure battery just up the side there, just in lights. You've got one which says V, which is your van battery, which gives you your charge of your van battery. You've got a button there which is your water pump on and off, if you want it on or off. That's obviously for the sink, and then you've got nice LED lighting. So you've got LED lights underneath here, which is all very nice. At the back here, you've got touch lights for above the bed, and where Sarah's sitting, just behind, there's a couple of lights which go up into the canvas, which is nice. They're similar to that, so touch lights.
Yeah, nice.
Which just make it really, really nice. This rail on here as well, by the way, is for the table, and the table is stored at the end of the kitchen. So it's just sat down there.
And you're about to see a very sandy doggy face. Hello, Roxy.
So one advantage of barn doors is that if you've got them open, you get a bit of privacy from the sides, which is cool. So when we have a look at the back of the van here, you can see that if you've got one of the barn doors shut, you can fit table, outdoor chairs if you want to, just in the side there. So that's quite handy because you can just open one door and stuff doesn't fall out. And also you've got a storage locker on the right hand side, and underneath here you've got your gas locker. So that's all certified, you get gas certificate and all that kind of stuff. So all nice and safe.
So just a quick mention in terms of window coverings. So in this camper, you can see here that they've created this kind of border around the doors. It's got a bit of a suede sort of effect fabric on here. You can see they're a blackout fabric, pretty much. And they are on rails at both at the top and the bottom there, and then they press stud in, so you'd put them back together. You have to excuse me here for just having one hand free, because the other hand is on a dog lead here. So I can't actually show you exactly how they go, but I'm sure Will can sort of go to one there that is done up properly. So they all match. You've got one on the kitchen side there where your window opens to. So just to my left here. There, and then you've got them over the back, and then on the two side windows, so your door and things like that. So for the front windows, so for the cab around the windscreen and things, you'd need to probably think about an external cover, which, to be honest, we always much preferred using anyway, because it's much better for thermal, so you don't get windows dripping and things in the morning anyway. So it's quite nice, actually. I'm sure you can get it really dark in here, particularly in the summer, which is nice.
So just looking at the cab area of this particular one, it's a relatively standard van. So this one doesn't have air conditioning or anything like that. No multifunction steering wheel. Does have cruise control, does have a trip computer, 5-speed manual in this one. It's also got heated mirrors, electric mirrors, that kind of thing. Obviously electric windows. So it's not like a real, like, nothing in it at all kind of van. But for us, we'd probably like to have air conditioning, I think. You know, you do quite long trips in these sometimes, so that would be quite nice. But actually, you know, if it's more about the camping and less about the cab area, then you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with this whatsoever. And I tell you, for the mileage, remember 95,000 miles, 94,000 miles, this is incredibly clean inside. They've done an amazing job of cleaning this up. It looks very, very smart indeed, not a mark on it. So let's get this roof down. So first of all, got to pull down the bed. Ooh, like that.
Easy.
And then, actually, I'll put, just to show you, so they've got an elastic strap here, which is attached on both sides. And that's important, because what that does is it pulls the canvas in as you pull it down, which is really, really handy. Because you don't want, obviously, the canvas to get caught in the mechanism and all that kind of stuff. So pull this down, and then on the roof itself, there's a couple of handles. So I've got to grab hold of those, pull this down.
You can see that canvas then coming in next to Will's arms there.
Yeah, and because it's manual, you can kind of give it a bit of a
helping hand.
Helping hand when it comes down as well, just to make sure it's all nicely inside. Grab that
There we go.
front as well. Oh. There
Feel
we go.
right?
Yeah. So what you do with this then, these straps here that we undid earlier, these are the ones that you do back up to secure the roof. So you get these and you pop them back here like that, and then you can really tighten them down just like that, and that then secures the canvas down.
And same again the other side then.
Same again the other side.
It's pretty quick, isn't it?
It is really, and it's not as elegant as a really fancy electric roof and that kind of thing, but
It's not going wrong.
it's not going wrong. And you really do pay for that convenience in an electric roof, don't you?
You do. And they can go wrong.
There we go. So that's really good and secure. So all you do with these is you shove these in the sides out the way, like that, to make sure it doesn't come down as you're driving along. These straps you stick up here. That's it, job done.
I'm back in a T6, so you've got my smiley face today. And it's a manual too, and I like manuals.
Well, there's something special, isn't there, about a T6? Just for us, because it was our first van, wasn't it? So, this is your first impressions of drive. I've driven it down here. You're going to drive it back.
Yeah.
and I want you to give your honest impressions of what driving a 94,000 mile transporter is really like.
Okay.
Honest.
Honest impressions, right.
Even if you are being inspected by the dog on the way.
We've got a puppy dog.
Let's go.
She's judging my clutch control as we speak.
So talk us through everything.
Okay. Well, the clutch feels good.
That's good. Is it heavy, light?
Quite light, actually, to start. I mean, I am on sand, so that's probably not the best.
And this is on massive
descriptor
wheels
so
as well,
far.
isn't it?
It is
And
on some nice big wheels. I do like the look of these wheels, I
ride
must
is good.
say. Nice wheels, right. Bye-bye Widmouth Bay. For those of you who
It's not wide mouth, is it?
may visit Cornwall and would read it as Widemouth, because it's W-I-D-E. It is
speed
not.
hump, sorry.
It is Widmouth. So there you go. Nice little cafe there. Toilets and bits and pieces.
Oh!
I think dogs are allowed on certain bits of Widmouth Bay. But I'm not going to comment any further than that, so. Because I didn't really watch the signage. We weren't trying to take Pup for a walk. Another camper there.
The camper got a bit of a wave.
Oh, a bit of a hill start using the handbrake there.
No juddering, no funny.
No juddering, and I'm an ex-driving instructor, so I got good clutch control, if I do say so. You can judge that by how good Will's camera control is when I'm changing gear.
Oh, and I tell you what, there's no squeaking or rattling.
No, it's nice.
That conversion in the back there,
Pop the window
just
up.
close the window. And
There we go.
if there's any squeaking, it's the dog.
It's got a good amount of pep, you know. That was just in third gear there. Probably shouldn't have been trying to give it a good amount of pep then, because I think we're actually technically in the 30 at the moment. Oh, some beautiful scenery around
we
here.
need to check which engine this one's got, but I think it's either going to be a 110 or a 150.
There's a little bit of creaking from the roof.
Oh yes, that's probably
Just
the
a
rubbers,
little bit. It
isn't
would just be the rubbers, just very, very slightly moving. But the conversion itself of the kitchen,
That's really well screwed
can't
together.
hear anything of that.
Yeah, it's got plenty of go.
Yeah,
Nice and quiet.
yeah.
Doesn't really feel like it's done 95,000 miles, I don't think.
No, it feels really nice actually.
Yeah, it's not crashy, bumpy, wallowy.
No.
Feels nice
Rides
and
well.
planted. Yeah. Excellent. The Volvo might be going. Just going to take a look at this one. So this is a 68 plate, 37,950, but this is a long wheelbase. So as you can see inside here, they've got full leather in this one. Lovely blue turquoise stitching. And you've obviously got a longer kitchen. So when they do these conversions, they tend to make them quite straightforward. As you've seen, this one hasn't got any added extras on or anything like that. It's just how they convert them. What they will do for you though, if you want, is you can order a diesel heater, you can order an awning, you know, you can change the wheel type, all of that sort of stuff, which they obviously can build to your spec really. Even when you've bought one of their vans, you can go back to them and they'll retrofit some of those things at a later stage. So if you've got a certain budget now, you might want to max out what you can afford right now on the best base van possible, and then obviously have the interior and things how you want it, but then go back to them later to have the body kit fitted and all of the other nice bits and pieces which you kind of figure out that you might want after you've had your van. So that's quite cool.
Okay, so now's the time for the big reveal. So can you guess how much this Big Wave camper is? So it's a 2018 van on an 18 plate T6 van. It's got a brand new conversion in it. It's been painted two-tone by these guys as well. Have a guess. Okay, right, so you've got a figure in your mind. Does it match the figure on the piece of paper? And the figure on the piece of paper is £50 shy of 36,000.
I thought you were going to say it's £50 then.
£50 shy of 36,000. So 35,950, that's including VAT. So I think from having just driven that back, so I've probably driven it about 7 or 8 miles, something like that. It's a cracking van. Yeah, okay, it's done 90 something thousand miles. But that's brilliant value for a lovely conversion, gets you into the market, gets you into a camper, whether you're at the state where you have got a lower budget or whether you're at the point of like, do I want a camper, don't I want a camper? Give it a go. It's superb. So I think on that note, we'll leave you to peruse that thought and we'll go off and enjoy the rest of our holidays. So we'll see you soon for some more Campervan time.